Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. This is the tip that I thought I would never have to give. It's a tip I didn't really think was a tip. Didn't think it was really going to relate to frugality. So I guess a little background on me. Y'all know I have a kid. My kid is a teenager. My kid went through online high school because pre-growth spurt, little guy, 120-ish pounds, still very little kiddish, prepubescent, smart as a whip. Kid 3 years older than him decided to start bullying him, steal his inhaler, and at the time his asthma was not well controlled. He would scratch him, and then he ended up beat him up. Ended up in the ER. Kid was out of school for a month. It was bad. I only saw this kid like twice. And with the inhaler thing, I wanted to press charges, and the school talked me out of it. They were going to handle it. They didn't. I wanted to sue the school at that point because I was so furious. But you can't sue a school unless it's gross negligence. The PE teacher sitting there and being on her computer and, supposedly not hearing, leaving children unsupervised in the gym to do this. Yeah. Apparently that's not gross negligence. It's just plain negligence. So, press charges. And it was taking forever. First, the kid didn't have a lawyer, and then he couldn't afford a lawyer, and then he got a state lawyer, and then they fired that lawyer, and then they got their own lawyer, and, every time you get a new lawyer on the case, it starts from scratch. So, about a year after the whole thing and pressing charges, he threatened he had a hit list on a weapon that has bullets, and a plan to bring it to school. In a day of mass shootings, school shootings, and everything, this psychopath had a hit list or revenge list, whatever, like 10 plus kids on it, and was bragging. What a way to a girl's heart. Didn't get her to the heart. It didn't get to her heart, but it got her to the police station to file a report. And the police again covered it up. We don't want to ruin that kid's life. It didn't matter that he ruined my kid's life. It didn't matter that he was about to reputably harm families and ruin hundreds of people's lives. Strike fear into every child in that school. That didn't matter. We don't want to ruin his life. Sometimes you need consequences. Sometimes you need to ruin a kid's life. When they're ruining other people's lives, sometimes that's what it is. And so again, no consequences. No consequences at all. By the time they finally got him in front of a judge, the judge is like, I'm just going to rule, and 6 months, can't remember what it was called, not probation. Basically, as long as he doesn't As long as he doesn't commit a violent offense in the next 6 months, then he gets to walk scot-free. Not even have anything on his record. So this kid has had no consequences. Oh, and I forgot to say, so like 6 to 12 months after the I'm going to shoot up the school incident, he had a multi-day psych eval and passed with flying colors. Found to be mentally healthy. Now, I don't know about you, and I mean, I will give you, I am not a therapist, I am not a counselor, I am not a psychiatrist, I am not a psychologist, I am not a doctor, I am not a mental health professional in any way. But my layman's opinion is that you can't both have a hit list and a plan to shoot up a school and be mentally well. Those two they don't go together in any way. It doesn't happen. And so if you can pass a psych eval, that is some flippin' psycho-sociopath type shit. So why do I bring this up, and what does it have to do with frugality? I'm getting there. Sunday, I ran out of propane. I was about to cook burgers or something, I think. Ran out of propane. Had to go get more propane. I run to Ace. This young man helps me. Kind of small, about my height. Skinny little kid, kind of scrawny. You know, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know, I kind of feel bad for this kid because, you know, he's a scrawny little guy and he's trying, you know, completely disarm me. So then, you know, and mind you, I'd only seen this kid like twice. I seen him right next to my kid. He was like much taller than my kid because remember pre-growth spurt. Now my kid looks down on me and is much taller than me. So in my head, this kid had to have been like 6'3" to 6'6", not my height, not this tiny little pipsqueak. So, you know, I tend to be nice to people, and I wasn't paying attention, and I sometimes I don't recognize people's faces in general. You know, it takes me a minute to register. And so he's like, you know, what's your number? I don't remember if I gave him my number, if I put it in the keypad or whatever to pull up my Ace rewards. But he looks at me and goes, do you have any kids? Like, okay, that's kind of a strange question, but like, you know, who knows? Maybe he's gotten a girl pregnant or something. Maybe he has like some random question and I've been nice to him. And, you know, these Gen Z guys, I've noticed, like, I'm nice to them and I like listen to them and I actually have conversations with them and treat them like people. And so they will ask me some like random stuff and, you know, so you know, that was my first thought initially. And I'm like, yeah, why? And he's like, oh, you know, your last name looked familiar. And I was like, you know what? I bet you went to school with my kid. So I asked, I was like, how old are you? Sure enough. Then I looked at the name. I saw his name. Crap. So I asked, what's your last name? Yep, it was him. I told him I really hope he's making better choices. What the hell do you say? I didn't jump across the counter and strangle him. And I think that I should be commended for that. I think it's also a damn good thing I don't carry a gun myself. So, I realized, started thinking about it. They had a lot of information on there because I've seen them pull up my profile before. And so I, you know, and I mean, we kind of are in that, like, I grew up when we had like movie rental places and they all had your address and everything, and you had to like always keep it updated and everything. So like it seemed perfectly normal to me. Now this psychopath has my address. We didn't get a restraining order, and you know why we didn't? The same reason most people don't get a restraining order is that if they don't have your address and you get a restraining order, you're giving the psychopath, stalker, violent offender, somebody who's threatening you, your home address. Great. So I went to Ace today, different location, talked to the manager. I found out a few things. You don't even need to know my phone number to pull up my information. All you need is my last name. Which means all somebody at Ace, if you have an Ace Rewards program, needs to pull up your information is your last name. So here's the frugal tip. No amount of savings, no amount of discounts, no amount of coupons, no amount of frugalness is worth your safety. So if you have an Ace Rewards number, go change your address. Mine's 123. I think we all should have a lot of 123s. I also went to Meijer today. Went to customer service. I went to a Meijer location that I go to a lot, so I know the people, and I'm like, I trust you. That's why I'm asking you to do it, is because I know you're not going to do anything crazy if my address does show up. I just need to know. She's like, I don't think it does, but I'll look. And it's your name, your MPerks points, and a partial email address. And only the customer service people have access to that, not just the cashiers. And because it's who has what number and what your number allows. And I talked to the people at Jewel, and all that comes up is your first name or valued customer. So I'm safe at those two locations. And Jewel is it's local to the Chicagoland area. However, it's related to Albertsons and Safeway and stuff. So I'm guessing that they have similar protocols. But now I'm going to everywhere where I have a rewards card and asking them about it, because I want to make sure that nobody else can pull up my information. Because that was really irresponsible of Ace. That's really irresponsible of Ace to have it set up, especially when they hire psychopaths. And I am sorry, but this kid threatened to shoot up a school, had a hit list, picked on children significantly smaller and younger than him, and managed to pass a mental psych eval, a multi-day. It wasn't like the quick 3 or 4 questions, multi-day, very thorough evaluation, and completely disarmed me. And I mean, I really hope the kid has turned over a new leaf and changed, but my fear is that this is some Ted Bundy level shit. The way, So, I know a lot of my followers are women, and we're more vulnerable. We just are. Bad men look at us like prey. They don't look at us and I mean, not that women can't be equally awful, but when you are viewed as prey, and again, this is specifically bad men who view us this way. This is not necessarily all men. It can be really dangerous. I mean, I've been stalked before, constantly looking over my shoulder. That's why it really irritates me. At what point did I become complacent? So nothing is worth your safety Today's tip for frugal living: no deal, no coupon, no value is worth your safety. So if you have an Ace Rewards membership, go and change your address, get your personal information removed. If I do need something, I will definitely not be going to the one in my town. I'll be going to a different one, but I probably won't go anymore. Like that was kind of a big mess up. The fact that my address can be looked up by my last name. So any psychopath they hire can look you up. So check your rewards program. Check and find out where your stuff is. I'm going to be going through that for the next few weeks and pulling my personal information off of anywhere that has it. So I recommend you do the same. Again, my name's Melissa. I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe. And I'll see you all tomorrow.